Hi everyone, and welcome to your 30-minute dynamic flow practice. We're going to start in our easy pose this morning, so just choosing a position maybe on your knees like me or cross-legged, and then closing down the eyes or lowering the gaze, coming into some stillness. Rolling the shoulders back, letting the shoulders come up to the ears and letting them settle down. Maybe closing the eyes, lowering the gaze. And just taking a moment to allow the body to settle into this comfortable position. Allowing the spine to lift and the shoulders soften down. And loosening any tension that we are maybe holding anywhere in the body or the face. Let that melt away, coming into this present moment. And just noticing how the breath is today. Maybe it's fast or slow. Simply being aware of the breath, not changing. Just simply noticing the breath coming in and out of the body. And just trying to maybe breathe in and out through the nose. Breathing in, filling the belly with air and energy. And then breathing it out, letting it settle down. Taking these breaths in your own time, calming down the mind. And with our nostril breathing, it starts to heat the body up. We're purifying the air that we take in. And it lets us come into our parasympathetic nervous system. Coming into our rest and digest before we start. So simply taking a breath in through the nose and then letting it go. This time trying to extend that exhale, we breathe in for 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale for 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just taking another round in your own time, breathing in and breathing out. Letting the fingers start to flicker, bringing some movement back to the body. Maybe bringing the palms down to the legs, feeling the clothes underneath our palms. And then taking a slight rock of the head, side to side, waking up slowly the body. We're then starting to open and flicker the eyes. We come into our tabletop position, so removing any of the blocks, placing the hands down, stacking them under the shoulders, stacking the knees under the hips. We take our cat-cow, lifting the chest, letting the belly drop, tailbone lifts. Exhale, we dome the back, push the floor away, let the head and neck dome under. Inhale, lifting the chest, let the chest and heart shine forward. Exhale, we dome the back, look up to the belly button, pulling the navel to spine. Inhale, coming into your cow. Exhale, using the breath to guide you to that next position, to cat. And then just taking some free movement, allowing the body to move maybe in some barrels, side to side, in big circles, maybe forward and back. Letting the body just move in a way that feels nice for you today. And then starting to take the left foot back, we extend the leg back and rock the toes, rock the ankle, warming up the hamstring, the toes, the ankles, and then we start to tripod the right foot out, coming onto the side into our supported side plank. Stacking the shoulders on top of each other, we reach up to the sky. Maybe lifting that leg off at the back and reaching the hand forward. Inhale. Exhale, maybe catching the foot at the back, bending at the knee, letting the chest and hip open to the side, taking the gaze down or up. And then placing the foot back down, letting the arm reach up, coming up onto the knee, and then extending and side stretching to the back of the mat, letting the hand just rest on the leg, and the top hand reaching from the hip up to the fingertips. We inhale, transfer back forward, place the right hand down. We reach and lift up, maybe extending the leg, extending the arm and flipping it back, coming back to the back of the mat, reaching up and over. And we transfer back forward, reaching up and letting the hand come back down to our tabletop. And then taking the right foot back this time, taking it to the other side, we rock back and forth, warming up the ankle and the toe joint. And then start to tripod that left leg out to the side, turning the body to the side of the mat, reaching that right hand up to the sky. Feeling the length through the fingertips. We reach it forward to the top of the mat, lifting maybe that right leg up. Feeling that line from foot to hand, maybe taking the bind behind the body, opening the hip and heart a little bit more. And then taking it back to our side plank, planting that right foot down. We reach up and lift up onto the knee, side stretching back to the leg. Inhale, start to transfer it back forward, letting the body move and reach to the front of the mat, maybe lifting the leg up. Exhale, we lift and stretch over the back leg, feeling this extension and side stretch. And then we come back, windmill the arms down, let the body come back to tabletop. Start to tuck the toes under at the back and lift the knees off, feeling the abdominals pull up to the spine and then taking it back to your downward facing dog. We walk out our dog, maybe pedaling right to left, maybe taking a deep bend in the knees, letting the belly come and meet the thighs, and then stretching and lifting the tailbone up to the sky. Just checking that our hands are shoulder width apart and our feet are hip width apart. Finding how your downward dog feels today. Start to bend the knees and step or jump forward to the top of the mat. Feet are hip width apart. We inhale, halfway lift, letting the spine lengthen long. Exhale, start to fold over the legs, bending at the knees, rolling up to stand. Hands come above the head and then down into heart center. Taking a moment to maybe set an intention for your practice, maybe to yourself or to somebody who may need this energy today. We start to flow. Inhale, lifting the arms up above the head. Exhale, we start to fold over the legs, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel the spine lengthen long. Hands plant down. We step back to our high plank. Left then right, and then take your vinyasa, maybe bringing the knees down, lowering down, exhale, inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, exhale, transfer back, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, inhale, exhale, bending at the knees, looking forward to the top of the mat, we step or hop, inhale, lift halfway, exhale to fold, and inhale to lift all the way to the top. Hands meet, back down to heart center and alongside the body. We inhale to lift. Second round, exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding over, right leg steps back, left leg steps back, and then we take our vinyasa. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Remembering you can take any version of your vinyasa, maybe taking the knees down, or maybe just coming back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, bending at the knees, looking forward. Step or hop to the top of the mat. We inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. And then we inhale, bend the knees, roll the spine up to stand, hands meet above the head, and then bringing them down to your heart center. Let the arms release down to beside the body, palms facing forward. Feeling the feet grounding into the floor and the head, the crown of the head reaching and rising tall. We transfer the weight into our right foot, feeling that really grounding into the floor, and we start to lift the left knee up, bringing the hands around the knee, maybe pulling it a little bit closer into the chest. We then start to lengthen that leg back, coming into our high lunge, letting the arms and fingers reach up, checking that the hips are facing the front. We exhale, bring the arms around the back of the body and letting the fingers interlace, coming into our humble warrior. You might want to open your stance a little bit with the front leg. Inhale to lift. Exhale to dive the chest and heart forward, letting the head be heavy, arms reaching up. And then inhaling, starting to dial the hands back up to the sky, coming back to your high lunge. And then finding your way into your warrior two, dropping the back heel, opening the arms, letting the hips face the side. Feeling the expansion in the arms from front to back. Keeping the bend in the front leg. We inhale, straightening the legs, let the arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, bending in the front leg back to warrior two. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lift, reaching through. Exhale to bend, reach, reach, reach forward, flip the palm, coming into your reverse warrior. Feeling this side stretch and just checking that that front knee is keeping bent. We transfer forward, bending into that right knee, coming into our side lunge. So bringing the hands maybe to heart center or maybe onto the floor. Feeling the opening in the hips. Maybe taking a reach up with the left arm. Maybe taking a bind. We start to transfer back to the back of the mat, coming into our half moon, setting up, bringing the left arm forward, opening the hips, bringing that hand maybe to the right hip first, and then starting to open up the chest, lifting the leg, kicking into that glute, opening to the side of the mat. We start to lengthen that right foot back, placing it back down onto the mat, opening the toes out and coming into our goddess squat. So lifting up and then bending down, opening the chest into cactus arms, bending at the knees. Inhale to lift, exhale to bend. Inhale to lift, feeling we're moving through treacle. Exhale to bend. And then starting to bring the hands behind the body, taking the palms together, we stretch up, inhale, open the chest, and then exhale to dive the body forward, coming into a wide-legged stretch. Letting the hands reach up to the sky, feeling the squeeze of the shoulder blades and opening of the heart space. We inhale, exhale to fold a little deeper. Inhale, starting to find your way back up to stand, squeezing up, lifting slowly. And then coming and stepping to the back of the mat, bringing that right foot to meet left. Bringing the hands up to meet, we fold forward. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Exhale, fold over, we step back to high plank and take your vinyasa. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Coming back to the breath. And then inhaling, bend the knees, step or jump forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And inhale to rise up to stand, rolling the spine up, lifting the hands above the head and bringing them down to your heart center. Coming to the other side, lifting that right knee into chest, grounding down through the left foot. And then stepping back with that right leg, we come into our high lunge, lifting the fingertips up to the sky, squaring the hips off, maybe opening that left foot a little bit wider for your humble warrior. Taking the arms around the back, we interlace the fingers, lift the chest up, and dive over that front leg. Letting the body dial down, head can gaze to the back foot, or just letting the head be heavy. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach the hands up and open up to your warrior two. Finding the opening with the arms, reaching from side to side. We inhale, straightening that front leg, reaching the hands up to the sky. Exhale, we bend the front knee, coming back to warrior two. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, bending into warrior two. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, maybe bending that little bit deeper. We inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, bending down, reach forward, flip the palm and come into your reverse warrior. Reaching and lifting a little deeper. We transfer forward and back, coming into our Skandasana. Coming to the back of the mat, bending in that left knee. And letting the seat come down, flexing the foot. Letting the hands come to where it feels comfortable. And then maybe taking that side stretch up, reaching the right hand up to the sky. We then transfer forward, bending in that right knee, finding your balance in front, and coming open into your half moon. Maybe bringing that left hand to hip, letting the leg extend long, and trying to rotate and open that armpit and chest to the side of the mat. Find that point of focus. We step back to our warrior two and open to our goddess squat. Opening the toes, turning them out. We lift up. Exhale, we cactus the arms, bending, squatting down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to squat. Keep tucking the tailbone underneath. Inhale to lift. Exhale to squat. And then reaching up, coming into our star pose. We start to take some fluid movement, some circles around. There's no right or wrong here, just letting the body move in a big circle, letting the arms reach long, letting the chest guide the way. Feeling this opening and release through the body, dancing through the air. Inhale to lift and exhale, taking it back over the other way. Finding some movement in the other side. Maybe bending at the knees for a little bit more comfort. Letting the body dance and move in a way that feels free for you. And then finding your way back to center. We take our wide-legged stretch, maybe taking the interlace, or simply diving the chest forward, letting the hands come down to the floor. And maybe trying to walk the hands through to the other side of the mat, letting the seat lift high. Another option is to take the outside of the shin to pull yourself through a little bit deeper. And then starting to find your way out of this posture, we start to bring the hands to the front of the mat, framing the front leg, bringing the left to meet right. And then rolling up to stand, hands meet overhead. And then start to fold over, letting the hands come down to prayer. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to fold, and then step back high plank and take your vinyasa. Exhale to lower, inhale to lift. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Coming back to the breath, breathing in, exhaling it out. This time, step or hop forward and letting the feet come as wide as the mat, coming into our yogi squat. So maybe this is taking a block underneath the seat, or maybe just taking a few little rocks side to find your yogi squat. Toes are facing out, dialing to 10 and 2 o'clock. Hands come to heart center. You might want to play around with crow if that is in your practice. Maybe bring the knees up to the armpits and just finding that little rock and roll forward and back. Or maybe just staying in your squat. Or maybe just taking a child's pose. Whatever is in your practice, listen to your body, what it needs today. And then wherever you are, bringing the feet down, hip width apart, hands to elbows, we ragdoll and sway, letting everything just be pulled down by gravity. Releasing out any tension, swaying side to side. And then starting to find your way, bringing the hands back down to the mat. Bring the feet together. We inhale to lift. Exhale, fold and walk the hands forward to your high plank. Engaging the glutes, pulling navel to spine, and take your vinyasa. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift up, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Bringing the knees down and coming to your child's pose. Maybe arms are reaching long, or maybe bringing them alongside the body to release the shoulders, letting the breath start to settle down, feeling the belly rise and fall in between the legs. Let yourself be held by the mat. You might want to take this a little deeper and starting to bend the elbows, bringing the hands to prayer above the head and letting the armpits and chest start to dial down a little bit deeper. And then finding your way, releasing this posture and coming back to your downward facing dog. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips. And then starting to lift the right knee and leg up. We come into our split dog. Opening the hips, squaring the shoulders, and then bringing that knee underneath the body and letting it extend underneath and through to our fallen triangle. Lifting that hand up, we start to maybe engage the abs and lift that right leg, or maybe keep it on the floor. And then dialing it forward, coming into your pigeon, letting the right knee come to the right wrist, letting the hips square, and maybe coming into your sleeping pigeon. You can place a block underneath that left hip if that feels more comfortable, or a cushion. Or maybe just keeping up onto the hands. Wherever you're going with your pigeon today, just be kind to the body. We hold a lot of tension in our hips, so just listening to what arises and letting it melt down. Take a deep breath in. And then starting to find your way back to seated, and then reversing and coming back to our downward facing dog. Maybe just moving out that right hip and letting it meet the left. We take it to the other side, lifting up that left leg to the sky, bending at the knee, opening into our split dog. Feeling the shoulders square, and then bringing that knee underneath the body, feeling the abdominals engaged, and then lengthening it under and reaching it out into fallen triangle. Taking any variations that you would like. Maybe lifting the leg. And then finding your way into your pigeon. Left knee to left wrist, let the hips square forward. And then maybe taking your sleeping pigeon, maybe taking that block underneath the right hip to just bring the ground a little bit closer. And we start to melt down, opening to this side. Maybe you notice a difference from the other side. Just letting that hip become more open, releasing out any thoughts that arise and letting them melt away into the mat. We slowly start to awaken the body, coming back up to seated. And then rolling over onto one side, we bring the legs in front, letting the feet to touch the palms of the feet, and then opening the hips and opening the knees to the side. You might want to bring a block in front or a cushion. And we're going to lift the arms up and lengthen forward, letting the head maybe just float and be pulled down by gravity, or like me, letting the head come down to a block. This is one of my favorite positions. Feeling the opening in the hips, but being so held and secure in an open, vulnerable position. Trying to release and not holding on to any tension. Let everything now start to just melt and open a little bit deeper. Maybe coming back to the breath if it's ran away with us a little bit. Slowing down and starting to release this posture. Removing any blocks and bringing the hands around the knees, bringing them up together. We're going to be taking our tabletop. So bringing the hands down just behind the hips, feet hip width apart, and we push the hips up, keeping the chin tucked, looking forward. Maybe extending the legs out to our reverse plank or staying in our reverse tabletop. Wherever you are, pushing the hips up, opening the chest. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together and then let the chin tuck, let the seat come down. We reach forward and then let yourself find your Shavasana. This resting pose after 30 minutes of flowing new energy and heat into the body. Letting anything release down into the mat. Opening the legs, the ankles roll out, arms take up space. Release the breath, the body, the mind. Shavasana. Start to deepen the breath, flickering the fingers and toes, and then bringing the knees in, giving yourself the biggest hug, and then letting the knees roll over to one side, bringing the arm underneath the head, and just pausing in this moment, feeling the energy we've cultivated. And then as slow as you can, finding your way to seated, keeping the eyes closed or lowered. Taking your hands to heart center and thanking yourself for taking this time for yourself today and flowing with me. We breathe in through the nose and exhale it out the mouth. Closing this practice, maybe bowing the head or simply Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me and have a beautiful day.